3 days from now, Marcus will vanish at 4:47 a.m., walking to his luxury car after a night at his favorite club. Security cameras will glitch. Witnesses will remember nothing. By dawn, it'll be like he never existed. But tonight, Zara doesn't know that yet. Tonight, the parking garage smells like exhaust and defeat. Zara leans against her decade-old Honda, mascara tracking down her brown cheeks, and tries to remember how to breathe. Her hands shake as she stares at her phone, at the photo Marcus just posted. Him and his new girlfriend. The caption, "Finally found a real woman." They've been broken up for 2 months. She's the one who left. So why does this feel like being gutted? Because the apartment was in his name. Because she spent 3 years supporting his business ventures that never materialized. Because she's 29 and starting over with nothing but a secretary's salary and the clothes she grabbed in trash bags. Her phone buzzes. "Marcus, you seeing this? Upgrade SCN. Tell your boss you need a raise." "Oh wait, you're just a secretary, LMYOLO." She closes her eyes. Doesn't respond. She's learned that lesson at least. "Miss Thompson." Zara's head snaps up. Her boss stands 10 feet away, hands in the pockets of his perfectly tailored black suit. Lee Hyun-woo, CEO of HW Global Investments. 43 floors of steel and glass in Seoul's financial district. And he runs it all from behind an obsidian desk, face carved from ice, eyes that miss nothing. She's worked for him for 8 months. He's never used her first name, never asked about her life, barely looks at her when she brings coffee or takes notes during meetings. But he's looking now. "Mr. Lee." She swipes at her face, humiliation burning hot. "I was just leaving. Long day. It's 11 p.m. You left at 6. His English is perfect, Seoul British boarding school accent making every word sound like precision. "Then you came back." Because her studio apartment feels like a coffin. Because she left her favorite earrings at her desk. Because she had nowhere else to go. "I forgot something." She straightens, forcing dignity into her spine. Her mother raised her better than this, falling apart in parking garages over men who never deserved her. "It won't happen again, Mr. Lee. I'll see you Monday." She reaches for her car door. His hand covers hers on the handle. The touch lasts 1 second, maybe less. But electricity shoots up her arm, and when she looks at him, really looks, something dangerous flickers in his dark eyes. "Who made you cry?" His voice is quiet. Too quiet. "It's personal. I shouldn't have a name, Miss Thompson." It's not a request. It's the voice he uses in board meetings when he's about to destroy a competitor. The voice that makes grown men in $1,000 suits go pale. "My ex-boyfriend." The words slip out before she can stop them. "It's stupid. He's just being petty because I left him, and I shouldn't care, but..." She cuts herself off. "I'm sorry. This is completely unprofessional." Hyun-woo steps back, and his expression returns to that careful neutrality he wears like armor. But his jaw is tight, and something violent lurks beneath the surface. "Go home, Miss Thompson. Get some rest." She nods, grateful for the dismissal, and gets in her car. Doesn't see the way he stands there until her taillights disappear. Doesn't see him make a phone call, voice dropping into rapid Korean, words sharp as blades. Doesn't know that he's had her followed since the day she interviewed. That he knows about Marcus, the eviction, the maxed out credit cards from supporting a man who called her his investment. Doesn't know that Lee Hyun-woo doesn't just run HW Global Investments. 8 months earlier, Zara needs this job so desperately she can taste it. The waiting room outside Mr. Lee's office is all leather and intimidation. Through the glass walls, she watches him, phone to his ear, face expressionless, the kind of handsome that belongs on magazine covers. Old money, real power, everything polished to lethal perfection. The recruiter said he goes to secretaries every 3 months. Too demanding, impossible standards. The last one quit after he corrected her formatting on a report at 9 p.m. on a Friday. Zara straightens her thrift store blazer. She's here on a medical training visa that expires in 4 months, working part-time at a hotel front desk, sending half her paycheck to help her sister back in Chicago finish nursing school. She's qualified business degree, 3 years executive assistant experience, but she's also black in a city that sometimes stares like she's a curiosity. Miss Thompson, the assistant who escorts her in, is young, nervous. Remember, don't speak unless he asks a direct question. Have your references ready. And good luck. The office is enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook Seoul, the Han River glittering 40 stories below. Hyun-woo sits behind his desk, reading her resume. Doesn't look up. Your visa expires in 4 months. Yes, sir. But I'm applying for a work visa extension. I have a sponsor letter from. I'll handle the visa. He finally looks at her, and the intensity in his gaze makes her breath catch. You worked for Marcus Chun at Chun Consulting for 3 years. Past tense. I did. I left 6 months ago when the company dissolved. The company didn't dissolve. It was investigated for fraud. Marcus Chun is currently under federal review. Zara's stomach drops. I didn't know that. Were you involved in the fraudulent activities? No. Her voice is steady despite the panic clawing up her throat. I scheduled meetings and managed his calendar. I had no access to financial records. Hyun-woo studies her for a long moment. Then, you're hired. Salary is triple what you made at Chun Consulting. Hours are 8 to 6, sometimes later. I travel frequently to New York, Tokyo, Singapore. You'll accompany me. Your job is to make my life easier. Can you do that? It's too good. Too easy. But Zara thinks of her sister, of the visa expiration, of starting over alone in a foreign country. Yes, sir. Then we're done here. He returns to his computer, dismissing her. She's halfway to the door when he speaks again. Miss Thompson, why did you really leave Chun Consulting? The truth sits bitter on her tongue. Because Marcus promised her the world and delivered humiliation. Because she was tired of being his assistant in every sense, personal and professional, with nothing to show for it. I realized I was worth more. Something flickers across Hyun-woo's face, almost approval. See that you remember that. 18 hours after the parking garage, Zara wakes to 17 missed calls. Her phone won't stop buzzing. Marcus's mother. His sister. 3 numbers she doesn't recognize. Her heart hammering, she calls Marcus's mom back. Zara, thank God. Have you heard from Marcus? He didn't come home last night, and his phone goes straight to voicemail. His car is gone. The police say it's too early to file a report, but I'm sure he's fine. Zara's voice sounds distant to her own ears. You know Marcus. Probably crashed at a friend's place. But she remembers her boss's face in the parking garage. The too quiet question. The way he watched her drive away. She tells herself she's being paranoid. At the office Monday morning, everything is normal. Hyun-woo arrives at exactly 8:15, double espresso in hand, already on his phone. Zara brings him the briefing folder for his 9 o'clock meeting. He doesn't look at her. Conference room in 10 minutes. The Tokyo acquisition needs final review. Yes, sir. It's only when she's leaving his office that he speaks again, still focused on his screen. Your ex-boyfriend. He won't be contacting you anymore. Her blood turns to ice. Mr. Lee, the meeting, Miss Thompson. She should push. Should demand answers. Instead, she closes the door and leans against it, heart racing. Marcus surfaces 3 days later. Shows up at his mother's house confused, disoriented, claiming he doesn't remember the last 72 hours. He's unharmed. Just missing time. And his phone is wiped clean. All his social media accounts are deactivated. The photo of his new girlfriend is gone. Zara hears this from Marcus's sister, who calls her crying. The doctors say he's fine, but Zara, he keeps saying he can't remember. And he got this weird text that he showed the police. Just coordinates. When they traced it, it was an abandoned warehouse. What kind of Zara hangs up? Sits at her desk, hands shaking. That evening, Hyun-woo works late. So does she, because she's afraid of what will happen if she tries to leave. At 9 p.m., he emerges from his office, suit jacket off, sleeves rolled up. Walk with me. It's not a request. They go to the rooftop terrace, Seoul spreading out beneath them in a sea of lights. The October wind is cold. Hyun-woo shrugs off his vest and drapes it over her shoulders without asking. It smells like expensive cologne and danger. You're afraid of me now, he says. Should I be? I don't know. Are you afraid of people who protect what's theirs? I'm not yours. But her voice wavers. He turns to face her, and for the first time in 8 months, his expression is completely unguarded. I've watched you for months, Miss Thompson. The way you thank the cleaning staff in broken Korean. How you stay late to help junior staff with reports. You work yourself to exhaustion and still smile at people who don't deserve it. His jaw tightens. And I watched him drain you. Insult you. Make you smaller. So you made him disappear. Her heart is pounding. Marcus said coordinates. A warehouse. What did you do? I had a conversation. About respect. And consequences. He steps closer. Your ex-boyfriend was being investigated for fraud, yes. But he was also moving money for some very dangerous people. People I know. One phone call, and he understood that touching you again, even digitally, would be the last mistake he ever made. Zara should run. Should quit. Should report this to who? The police? In Seoul, where she's a foreigner with an expired visa. You had no right, she whispers. I had every right. You're under my protection. His voice drops. I've been since the day you walked into my office. Chin up, terrified but refusing to show it. Do you know what I saw? Someone who'd been undervalued so long she didn't know her own worth. You don't know me. I know you take your coffee without milk because dairy makes you sick. That you call your sister every Sunday at 7 p.m. Chicago time. That you're wearing the same 3 blazers in rotation because you spent your savings. Helping a man who never deserved you. His eyes are burning now. I know that seeing you cry in that parking garage made me want to burn the world down. Zara can't breathe. Mr. Lee Hyun-woo. Say my name. This is insane. You're my boss. You can't just. I can. And I did. He cups her face with one hand, thumb brushing her cheekbone. You walked away from a man who diminished you. I'm simply ensuring he stays gone. That's not romance, Miss Thompson. That's inevitability. And if I quit, pain flashes across his features. Then I'll triple your severance, write you a reference that guarantees any job you want, and ensure you're protected regardless. His hand drops. But I'll regret it every day for the rest of my life. The confession cracks something open in her chest. Because this isn't some smooth seduction. This is a man who controls billion-dollar deals losing control completely. Why me? She asks. You could have anyone. I don't want anyone. I want the woman who stood in my office 8 months ago and told me she was worth more. The one who learned Korean from YouTube to communicate with my elderly mother when she visits. Who reorganized my entire filing system and increased my efficiency by 30% because you can't stand inefficiency. He smiles slightly. I want you, Zara Thompson. Half from the beginning. She should say no. Should walk away. Should protect herself. Instead, your mother visits every month. Thinks you're wonderful. Keeps asking when I'm going to stop being stupid and ask you to dinner. Despite everything, Zara laughs. You told your mother about me? I tell her everything. She's the only person I trust. Until you. His expression turns serious again. I'm not a good man, Zara. My business is legal, mostly. But I know people who operate in shadows. I've used that world to protect what matters to me. If that terrifies you, I understand. But I won't apologize for keeping you safe. The vest is warm around her shoulders. Seoul glitters below. And Zara realizes she's not afraid. She's exhilarated. You're insane, she says. Probably. And controlling. Definitely. And you made my ex-boyfriend disappear. I made him remember his place. He watches her carefully. Say the word, and I'll never cross that line again. You'll be simply my exceptional secretary. Professional distance. I'll suffer in silence. You? Suffer in silence. I'm Korean. We're excellent at repression. She laughs again, and his expression softens. There, he murmurs. That's what I wanted. You smiling instead of crying in parking garages. Zara makes her choice. Steps closer. One dinner. No disappearing people. No shadowy phone calls. Just us. Can you do that? I can try. He offers his hand. Fair warning. I'm terrible at casual. My mother raised me to commit or walk away. Good thing I don't want casual either. 6 months later, the restaurant has no name. Just a wooden door in an alley off Gangnam's main street. Inside, it's all warm lighting in private rooms where Korea's elite make deals over aged soju. Zara sits across from Hyun-woo's mother, Mrs. Lee, who watches her with sharp, assessing eyes. Your Korean has improved, Mrs. Lee says in careful English. Hyun-woo's been teaching me. Zara smiles. Though he's not very patient. My son is patient with nothing except you. Mrs. Lee sets down her teacup. He's different since you arrived. Softer. I worried he'd become like his father. All ice, no heart. His father? Dead 10 years now. My husband built HW Global from nothing, but he forgot to build a life. Worked himself into an early grave. She reaches across the table, covers Zara's hand with her own. I don't want that for my son. He needs someone who reminds him there's more than board meetings and acquisitions. I'm just his secretary. You're the woman who made him laugh during a quarterly review. His assistant told me. First time in 5 years. Mrs. Lee squeezes her hand. You're good for him. Don't let him convince you otherwise. The conversation shifts to lighter topics. Mrs. Lee's garden, Zara's sister who just graduated nursing school. When Hyun-woo arrives to collect them, his mother kisses Zara's cheek and whispers in Korean, "Make him happy." In the car afterward, Hyun-woo reaches for her hand. My mother approves. That's significant. She told me about your father. His expression closes slightly. He was complicated. Hyun-woo. She turns to face him. We've been dating 6 months. I've met your mother, your brother, half your business associates. But you never talk about yourself. Real things. What you're afraid of. What keeps you up at night. The car glides through Seoul traffic. For a long moment, he says nothing. Then, I'm afraid I'll become him. My father loved my mother, but he loved power more. Missed birthdays. Anniversaries. Her hospital stay when she had pneumonia. His jaw tightens. The day he died, he was at the office. Collapsed during a conference call. And I remember thinking, he chose this. Every single day, he chose work over us. You're not him. How do you know? Because you left a billion-dollar meeting early last month to bring me soup when I had a cold. Because you memorized my sister's graduation date and sent flowers. Because you. She stops, emotion thick in her throat. Because you see me, Hyun-woo. Really see me. Your father saw assets and acquisitions. You see people. He pulls her close, and she feels him shaking slightly. I don't deserve you, he murmurs into her hair. Too bad. You're stuck with me. The crisis comes in April. Marcus resurfaces. Not physically. He stayed far away, moved to Singapore, got a legitimate job working for his uncle's import business. But his new girlfriend, the one from the photo, shows up at HW Global's lobby demanding to see Zara. You ruined his life. She spits when security brings Zara down. The police questioned him for weeks. He lost everything. And for what? Because you're jealous? Zara keeps her voice level. I haven't spoken to Marcus in almost a year. Bullshit. You and your psycho boss. She lunges forward. Security restrains her. Marcus told me everything. How your boss had him kidnapped. Threatened him. And you just let it happen. The lobby freezes. 20 people watching. Phones out. This will be on social media in minutes. Zara feels the walls closing in. Then Hyun-woo's voice cuts through the chaos. That's enough. He's beside her suddenly, hand on her lower back. His expression is carved from ice. Security, escort this woman out. If she returns, she'll be charged with trespassing. You can't silence everyone. That was a setup. Someone sent her here. Probably a competitor trying to create scandal before our New York expansion launches. But is it true? Zara's voice shakes. What she said about Marcus. About you being criminal. I told you from the beginning. I know people who operate in shadows. I've used those connections to protect you. Yes. But everything I've built, everything HW Global stands for, is legitimate. He crosses to her. The conversation I had with Marcus was exactly that. A conversation. About respect. About leaving you alone. No one was harmed. But the warehouse coordinates. The missing 72 hours. Marcus was picked up by associates of mine. Held in a private location while we clarified expectations. Then released unharmed. Dramatic? Yes. Illegal. He pauses. Technically, kidnapping. But I'd do it again. Zara closes her eyes. You can't just do whatever you want. I can when it comes to protecting you. His voice is fierce. I won't apologize for keeping you safe from a man who treated you like property. That's not your choice to make. Then whose choice is it? He steps closer. You walked away from him, and he spent months harassing you. Posting photos to hurt you. Mocking your career. At what point was I supposed to stand by and watch? At the point where you trust me to handle my own life. They stare at each other, both breathing hard. Finally, Hyun-woo exhales. You're right. I overstepped. I saw you hurting and reacted like. He stops. Like someone who is already in love with you. The confession hangs between them. What? Zara whispers. I fell in love with you the day you reorganized my entire schedule and told me my time management was inefficient. You stood in my office, this brilliant, beautiful woman, completely unafraid of me. And I was gone. He runs a hand through his hair. Everything I've done since then has been about keeping you, protecting you, making sure you never cry in parking garages again. By controlling everything? By trying to. He looks utterly miserable. I don't know how to love someone without trying to fix everything. Without using every resource I have to make their life easier. That's what my father taught me. Love is provision, protection, Power. Zara's anger wavers. Love is also trust. Then teach me. He reaches for her hand. Show me how to love you the right way. Because walking away isn't an option. I tried. For 6 months, I tried to keep professional distance. I failed spectacularly. She thinks about the past year. How he secured her work visa. How he tripled her salary unprompted. How he learned her favorite foods, her schedule, her dreams. How he's been watching over her like she's precious. Controlling, yes, but also devoted. New rules, she says finally. You talk to me before making decisions that affect my life. You trust me to handle my own problems first. And if someone threatens me, we go to the police, not your shadow connections. Agreed. Except the last one. Hyun-woo, I can't promise that. His expression is serious. If someone genuinely threatens you, I'll use every resource I have, legal or otherwise. That's non-negotiable. She should argue, should insist. Instead, then I get the same protection for you. What? You want to be my protector? Fine. But I protect you too. Your health. Your well-being. No more working until midnight. No more skipping meals during acquisitions. You don't get to sacrifice yourself for your empire and call it love. Something soft enters his expression. Deal. And one more thing. She steps closer. You tell me you love me again. While we're not fighting. When it's just real. Hyun-woo cups her face in both hands. I love you, Zara Thompson. I loved you when you were my secretary. I love you now. I'll love you when you're running your own company. Because we both know you won't be anyone's assistant forever. Very presumptuous. I prefer accurately prophetic. He kisses her softly. Forgive me. For the kidnapping or the control issues? Both. Working on it. But she's smiling. You're exhausting. You're extraordinary. Flattery won't. He kisses her again, deeper this time, and she melts into it. 1 year later, the press conference is packed. Zara stands at the podium in a navy suit that cost more than her old car, facing cameras and reporters. Thompson Consulting will focus on connecting international companies with Korean markets, she says, voice steady. We specialize in cultural integration, executive placement, and sustainable business practices. Our first partnership is with HW Global Investments, providing consulting services for their American expansion. Questions fly. She answers them all with the confidence of someone who's learned her worth. Afterward, Hyun-woo finds her in the green room. You were perfect. I was terrified. Didn't show. He pulls her close. Ready for dinner? My mother's cooking. She's very excited about your new venture. Keeps telling everyone her future daughter-in-law is a CEO. Zara's breath catches. Future daughter-in-law? Did I not? He stops, realizes his mistake. That was supposed to be a surprise. You're proposing via your mother's dinner plans? No, I'm proposing now. He drops to one knee, and her heart stops. Zara Thompson, you walked into my life and showed me that love isn't control or protection or power. It's partnership. It's trusting someone enough to let them see your worst and believing they'll stay. You've made me better in every way that matters. He opens a velvet box. The diamond catches the light. Marry me. Build a life with me. Argue with me when I'm being controlling and kiss me when I get it right. Be my partner in everything. Zara's crying now, happy tears. You're still terrible at surprises. Is that a yes? That's a yes, you controlling, overprotective, wonderful man. He slides the ring on her finger and kisses her while camera flashes explode outside. Someone tipped off the press. Of course they did. Because Hyun-woo can't do anything halfway. That night, at his mother's house, Mrs. Lee hugs Zara tight and whispers, "You made him human again. Thank you." They marry 6 months later, traditional Korean ceremony, then a second ceremony in Chicago for Zara's family. Marcus doesn't attend, doesn't send a card. He's built a quiet life in Singapore and learned an important lesson. Some people are untouchable. Zara builds Thompson Consulting into a powerhouse, eventually employing 20 people. Hyun-woo remains her biggest supporter and occasionally her biggest headache when he tries to micromanage her deals. 5 years after that night in the parking garage, they sit on their apartment terrace overlooking Seoul, Zara's head on his shoulder. Do you ever regret it? She asks. The whole kidnapping situation. You could have just asked me to dinner. I regret scaring you. But I don't regret protecting you. He kisses her temple. Some love stories start with flowers. Ours started with me being criminally overprotective. Criminally is the operative word. You married me anyway. Terrible judgment on my part. He laughs, and she feels it rumble through his chest. They sit in comfortable silence, watching the city lights, two people who found each other in the most improbable way. Zara learned that being valued isn't about grand gestures. It's about someone who sees you on your worst day and decides you're worth fighting for. Hyun-woo learned that love isn't about control. It's about trusting someone enough to be vulnerable. And together, they learned that the best love stories aren't about rescue. They're about two people choosing each other every day in all the messy, complicated, beautiful ways that matter. That's where their story settles, not into perfection, but into the kind of partnership that weathers storms, celebrates victories, and knows that sometimes the most profound love grows from the most unlikely beginnings.